Shock Treatment the movie is rated PG, but Shock Treatment Minute is rated F for
full.
We're going to spend this time discussing the movie in gory detail, and along the way we'll talk about adult content and use adult language. Consider yourselves warned.
Welcome to Shock Treatment Minute, the only podcast where we discuss shock treatment 1 minute at a time in excruciating detail. I'm one of your hosts, Kelly.
And I'm your other host, Leandra. And you're right, this is the only podcast where we specifically break down shock treatment.
Well, I guess that's technically not true because we did occasionally veer into that during Rocky Horror Minute, but we've already hooked him at this point. So, how you doing, Leandra?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy that we survived our Perry-Bedden attack, and I see that he's in shock treatment, but there's no reason to think that he is bloodthirsty or out for murder or cannibalism or anything like that. No indicators of that whatsoever. So our guests are probably safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just got done watching The Craziest Thing. It was minute 5 of shock treatment.
Oh my god, are we syncing up?
Oh my god, our cycles are syncing up. Don't tell me you also watched minute 5 of shock treatment.
I did.
Oh my god. Well, why don't you tell the listeners what happened?
Okay, so listeners, here's the scoop. Emily Weiss continues her line, Innocence, in Denton, and then she uses her teeth to bite through the thread of the garment she's sewing. Next up, we have Officer Vance Parker, who's standing holding a prison door open inside a large inn sculpture. He sings, "You'll find conference rooms and a children's playground." He closes the jail door and continues, "Denton is a real okay town." And on okay, he does the universal okay symbols with his right hand, revealing a watch on his wrist. He walks towards stage left, singing Civic Pride and Civic Duty. Stopping between two cheerleaders with their backs to the audience, he concludes, "And Denton girls are," and then he whistles, and I'll try to do that as well. "Full of beauty," is the end of that line. Then the cheerleaders turn around during that whistle. They run forward, manic smiles on their faces, waving pom-poms, and they begin to dance while singing, "You may call us the goody-goody two-shoes. We're here to cheer you with the good news that DENTON gets TEN. That's 10 out of 10. In the background while they're dancing, you see Vance Parker bopping along and moving his arm to the beat. At the end of their song and dance, the cheerleaders run off stage left. The camera focuses on Ralph Hapschatt seated behind a table and Macy Struthers standing against the clear glass inn statue. Ralph says, or rather sings, "If you're looking for a life of leisure," Macy says, "You're gonna get a whole lot to please ya." Ralph picks up another phone, so he's holding two right now, and says, "Again and again." Macy sensually slides up and down the wall singing "Again and Again," and then they harmonize and sing on "And Again," together putting their hands in a classic, "I don't know" pose, keeping in mind that Ralph is doing this still holding two phones. The cheerleader pom-poms shake in front of the camera, obscuring everything. The next thing we see is the audience, and they're all looking up and towards stage right, their left. They sing, "Denton, Denton, you've got," and then there's a beat, and they all turn their head to their right to continue and say, "No pretension, you're," and then there's a beat again, and they all turn their head back to the left and sing, "Where the," and then the minute ends.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Big minute.
It's really good. And the first note that I have is I breezed through this in the synopsis, but why the fuck does Vance briefly reach for his gun during the cheerleader dance? It's on "Cheer You with the Good News." It's like he thinks better of gunning them down in that exact moment, though.
Well, that's reasonable because I I love the cheerleaders. I'm completely obsessed with them. And part of the reason for that is there's something so grotesque about them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're like toddlers but adult women. The way they perform is so crazed. I think this song is the only time we get lines from them, unless I'm mistaken.
They are backup singers in Breaking Out, aren't they?
If they are, I wouldn't really call it lines. It would be like harmonies at most. It's mostly Oscar Drill singing on that
That's fair.
solo. Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that they're like in various choruses in the show too, but like in just them speaking, I think it's just this song. And the reason that I bring that up is because they deliver these lines with so much energy. It's really great. I mean, they're like, "You make all us the goody goody too," you know what I mean? And they're like, So anyway, I can see how his initial reaction would be like, kill it," but no, no, I shan't, not this time. Um, Also, fun fact: Patricia Quinn also loves them a lot.
Oh, good. That's the right
She
opinion.
Yeah, I know. She, as soon as she saw them on screen, she started going, "Oh, I love these goody two shoes. I love the goody goody shoes." And then she said, "That's Sunita and that girl Claire." I already mentioned Sunita Rened, who just goes by Sunita. She's actually a fairly successful singer. Did you know that, Leandra?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, she had several pretty big hits in the 80s. So Macho was her first really big hit. She's also been on reality TV several times more recently, including in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. And then she was one of the judges on Grease is the Word, which was the UK version of that show where they were searching for actors to be in a Broadway production of Grease. If you ever heard of that.
I have heard of that, and still it sounds fucking bizarre.
Yeah. And they did a British version, which I was kind of surprised by, but she was one of the judges on it. Anyway, all this to say, that's who they are. And she said, "That's Sunita and that girl Claire. I went to a casting session once, and this girl said, 'Hello, Pat,' and it was Claire. She was the casting director. Beat, she didn't give me the part."
Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know how to feel about that.
I mean, that is so real of Claire Toman. I guess she was like, "Listen, Patricia, we had some good times on Shock Treatment or whatever, but you're not you're not the one for this." And honestly, good for Lady Pat for still speaking positively about these characters after she got kind of potentially snubbed by one of the actresses.
Yeah, I don't
But
know that I
yeah.
would. I would probably be like, oh, there's that one really goody goody two shoe who's amazing, and a full pile of shit.
Yeah, I don't know. She was in a good mood during this. When they showed the overhead shot of the audience, she just started going, "Woo! Woo! Woo!" And then she said, "I'm enjoying this. Can we just not talk and watch this?" And then Nell replied, "I'm trying to remember how many of them I slept with."
I think that you can figure out which one of us is which.
I can, and Nell, speaking from one who's been there, just don't even try to calculate it. That way
Yeah.
madness lies. But this is a really fun commentary. I recommend tracking it down. I think
Okay.
it's for the Blu-ray. Long story short, the cheerleaders are a real highlight for me in the movie, and they were even from the first time I watched it.
Yeah, absolutely same. Once I enjoyed Shock Treatment, they were very quickly a favorite of mine. I'm not going to count that first time that I saw it because I just didn't get it.
That's fair. And I mean, I feel like they kind of perfectly encapsulate what this scene and like the movie in general is going for. Like there's such a kind of creepy satire of like American mainstream ideals, you know?
Yeah, and they're just they're so patriotic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's it is grotesque just how big the the smiles are, the
Mm-hmm.
hair bows and ribbons, and the pom-poms, and even the majorette boots are just fucking nuts. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's just very Texas.
It is. It is. And like they have to have intentionally sought out like very small women for this role. So I think that kind of the childlike appearance was intentional too. Because like I said, Claire Toman is 4'9", and Sunita's not a whole lot taller than her. I think she's 5'1".
That's amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it really is good casting because
Yeah.
in a specific future scene when they're running around in a specific, very silly costume, it becomes abundantly clear that if it was taller people or actual children or any iteration of casting that didn't include these two specific people, it wouldn't be nearly as fun.
100%.
But that is a conversation for a much later minute.
It's true. I've got lots of good things to say about the actors in this scene. And another one is I really love how Darlene Johnson, who's playing Emily Weiss, delivers her line. It's so like fakely dainty, you know? She's like tenderness and
Innocence.
innocence.
I don't know if other people have experienced this, but if you've ever interacted with a kind of streetcar named Desire esque
This is exactly what I was
aging.
gonna say.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, then take
No,
it
no,
away,
I didn't.
slut.
No, no, I didn't even have it in my notes. I'm just marveling that we had the same thought about this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just the aging. I'm still an ingenue, though.
exactly. Like she perfectly like with just that acting performance gave off a woman who was once very beautiful and is now getting older and has not quite come to grips with the fact that like people are not captivated by her beauty the way that they were when she was young. You know what I mean?
An aging, sexy little baby.
Exactly. Exactly. Um she's Australian by the way, which I thought was very interesting because I did not clock her accent at any point.
And next minute, we'll be talking a little bit more about another one of her solo lyrics that I think is very very different in tone and really everything compared to this tenderness and innocence line. So,
Hmm. You think?
yeah, it doesn't even sound like the same person to me, but we'll talk about that.
Oh, I don't know if I would agree with that, but I guess we'll talk about it next minute.
Yeah.
One more thing about Darlene Johnson. Uh, Leandra,
Yes,
you sew.
I do.
Do you bite your thread?
Yes,
Yeah,
often. Yeah.
yeah. She always does it in this movie, and without really being someone who sews, I have to assume that if I were someone who sews, I would just do that 90% of the time instead of bothering to reach for scissors.
Yeah. This, of course, comes from, for me, the fact that I can have scissors, look at them, go, I'm putting them literally next to me, and then put them next to me, feel them, see them next to me, then move my hand, and then they've disappeared. And I have no idea
Mm-hmm.
where I've put them.
Mm-hmm.
And I do this multiple times as I'm doing any sort of sewing project. I just go, where the fuck are the scissors now? And then I'll get up and they're like in the fridge. I have no idea how, but they're never where I just had them.
It's funny.
So, behind Macy Struthers, you spoke about this a bit last minute, but I love the light kind of pink dress with matching pillbox hat, the multiple lavender bags, the strappy shoes. All of these are behind the glass. There's also an American Express credit card sticker that's adhered to the glass. It feels very like a shop in a strip mall meets the Home Shopping Network, and there's something very commercial about it in a way that works so well for Denton and so weirdly literally anywhere else.
I also just wanted to shout out Jeremy Newsom, which we already have, for as Ralph Hapshat, because that is the only character probably that we have played by the same actor in both Rocky Horror and Shock Treatment. We have some actors from Rocky playing different characters and some characters from Rocky played by different actors, but Ralph is the only character we know to be the same person. The reason I'm putting in a qualifier is you could make an argument, since we never get the criminologist's name, that he is Oliver Wright, but they do have a similar demeanor and potentially a similar job. But
Sure.
I don't think that was intended, but you could say it was. Anyway.
Yeah, nothing's stopping you from creating all sorts of conspiracy theories around this. We're certainly not. And I think that it would be really great if you shared those conspiracy theories in the form of a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts.
It's so true. Just a couple of fun notes I had about the crowd shot. One, Sue Blaine said that a lot of the costumes from Rocky were like in cupboards and stuff, and so she's pretty sure she reused some costume pieces for like extras in this movie. I will now forever be scanning those people to see if I can spot anything.
I could really talk about how the audience is dressed so many times.
I know. I notice someone new every time.
Yeah, same. Next minute I have a couple of very specific call outs for people doing weird shit in the audience.
As do I.
But you know who isn't doing any weird shit in the audience during this?
My mom.
Brad. Brad isn't singing or dancing because he's too much of a fucking dweeb.
It's true.
And it's very fun to see that juxtaposition. It continues to be odd.
The way that they're moving their heads from side to side. A long time ago, I saw a video, like this is at least 10 years ago, probably more. I saw a video of One Direction filming a music video. It was like a behind the scenes video, and they were like holding like a ball or something and moving it from side to side for them to follow so that their eyes all moved in the same way.
Huh.
And it was very funny because that is what you do as like an animal photographer if you're taking photos of like kittens.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So it's funny that that's what happened with One Direction, even though I do understand. But anyway, that's what this reminds me of. And I will say, a lot of those people would have been more in time if somebody was holding a ball and moving it side to side. So, but them being out of sync is kind of part of the fun.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that in every crowd of just your general population of a small town, there really aren't many people who are talented dancers or singers or actors or can't dress themselves well. Like, it's just a group of tacky people sitting in an audience.
Another just fun fact I learned is that they actually got the U.S. Air Force choir to sing this part.
Oh my god.
I know. Pretty cool. And
Yeah.
it's very on theme, I feel.
It really is.
This would hopefully be obvious, but the 3 soldiers we see, I think it's 3, the soldiers we see in the audience that are going to stand up later are not actual soldiers, or at least they're not from that. And one of them is Rocky royalty. Do you know who, Leandra?
I do not. Not off the top of my head.
One of them is Rainer Burton,
Oh,
who was
okay.
the original Rocky from the stage show.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Good for him.
it's fun how they keep giving people little little parts in this who were in the stage show or what have you. So that's fun. But yeah, I always thought, this sounds pretty good and robust, and now I know why. They had like a real choir.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that it would be anything other than that now that I know that that's the case. But up until about 30 seconds ago, I was convinced that they somehow got all of those fucking extras in a recording studio to record their parts. It's not
Yeah, I mean,
practical, but
up until I learned that fact, I never thought about it, and I guess in my mind I was just assuming it was all of them singing in the studio, which I know damn well that's not how that works, but there you go.
yeah. I think that we both just are really great consumers of entertainment. We suspended our disbelief and we were like, if
A
we're supposed
hundred.
if we're supposed to believe that they're singing, then god damn it, I believe that they're singing.
I mean, just get on my level with the immersion is what I have to say.
But those are all my notes.
Those are all my notes. I actually have a callback this time.
Oh, you do? What is it?
When he says Denton girls are full of beauty, you can sing over him, full of booty.
That's nice. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
I learned it from you. I learned it from watching you. But you
No.
did that. You did that the first time I watched the movie. Anyway,
Okay.
uh, spoiler alert: every callback that I know in Shock Treatment that is not something I made up is going to be something I heard Leandra say the first time I watched it.
Well, I'm happy that you remember the things that I said because as I'm
Mm-hmm.
going through, I'm I'm looking at different scripts and I'm asking different people if they have any input and going, "Man, this is really clever." And then you say, "Yeah, you did this." And I go, "I don't believe you, but cool."
Yeah, it was 8 years ago, to be fair.
God. And yet we're still only 18 and 21, respectively.
It's true.
Yeah. So, callbacks that I have. This first one, when I heard it at a con, I don't know why this very specific line made me fucking guffaw, but it did. And it's, "What will you find in the UN?" And then Officer Vance Parker says, "You'll find conference rooms."
That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it just killed me. And then the next one is, "Where do you smoke your weed?" And that goes right before a children's playground.
It's a classic place to smoke weed back in the day.
Yeah. Denton is a real, instead of saying okay, you can go all gay town.
Woohoo! An all gay town. Sign
Yeah.
me up. That's what I say.
And then on civic pride and civic duty, you can say, "Isn't that the girls from the Facts of Life?" Which is fun if you've seen the Facts of Life.
I haven't.
Denton girls are, and then during the whistle, you can go PU because they stink.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to say full of booties, you can say full of cooties. That's kind of, if you're an 11-year-old boy, then that is sick. And then you can say sing it goody two shoes or what a goody two shoe. And then the cheerleaders say, "You may call us the goody goody two shoes." And you could say it's the fill in the blank with the name of the local sports team with cheerleaders. Cheerleaders. So it's the Washington Commanders cheerleaders, I guess. Is that local
I'd pick
sports?
I'd pick a different sports team that
Okay.
rolls off the tongue better, but yes, I that is the local sports team to DC. I would probably do I mean honestly, yeah, you got no good options. Glad they changed the name. Go commies, but yeah.
Yeah. But after you say it's the sports team cheerleaders, somebody else says, "No, they were never that good."
Very funny.
And then when they start spelling out Denton. You can shout in reference to the cheerleaders line. They can't spell that good either. And then when they spell out TEN, that's 10 out of 10. You can go, they can't count that good either. And then after Macy says you're gonna get a whole lot to please you, you say, how often do you masturbate? And Ralph says again and again. And then Macy says again and again. And they say again. And then after that, you say, I don't want to shake your hand. And then the final one is just audience participation. You are the audience. You get to do that dance. And if you don't know what to do, you're staring at the screen. You do what's on the screen. It is the easiest and best way to participate.
It's true.
So just move your head when they move their head. It is so much fun to do that in a crowd.
It is. They haven't started clapping, but just know soon they're going to be clapping, and I cannot listen to this song without clapping. It's bad when it comes on when I'm driving.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just clap your booty cheeks.
I clap I can actually make my titties clap, listeners. That's what I do. That's not a joke. I really can't do that. But
I think that the trouble would be making them not clap.
But that would be actually much more dangerous than clapping my hands when driving, because I really have to do kind of a weird motion with my arms. Anyway, also, when I was listening to the Bill Brennan and Madman Mike commentary on the DVD, I also heard them clapping on the track.
It's just so fun.
It made me smile.
You can't not.
Yeah.
But those are all my callbacks.
Okay.
Which I guess leads me to my final question for you. And that is...
No. Oh, yes.
And that is...
I keep forgetting who does...
And that is...
What is it?
Well, now I'm not going to say. No, I'm kidding. Does this bird belong to you?